Gladiators just took our first match of the night with a 3-1 victory over the Dallas Fuel. And with that, both of these teams will end the opening week of Stage 3 with a 1-1 record. Up next, we have the LA Valiant going up against the Shanghai Dragons. Now, both of these teams have revamped squads. They revamped their rosters from the toe up. We saw both of them in action earlier this week. The LA Valiant pulled off a crazy 4-0 victory over the Seoul Dynasty with their new players Custa and Space in the lineup. And the Shanghai Dragons didn't quite claim victory, but they look the most fundamentally sound than they have the entire season. So they've got a lot more people believing in them. In fact, I feel like there's a lot of believers sitting around me right now. Are there some believers here? Can I hear it? Will today be the day? Can I hear it? Can I hear the belief? All right. So it sounds like there's some Shanghai fans here. Actually, I'm gonna count you guys in. I wanna hear it for real now. All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. There are some Shanghai believers. So let's not waste any more time and get into the action. Send it over to Puckett and the boys at the desk.
Thank you so much, Malik. Big shout out to our crowd. So many Shanghai Dragon fans here once again. But I think the best part of that was Malik and the crowd. I feel like we need to dress him up as Waldo and just put him throughout this whole Blizzard arena. We've got Bren, we've got Crumbs, and another series featuring an LA team on the rise with the Valiant taking on the Shanghai Dragons. And for anyone that missed the match earlier in the week, recap, guys. What have the Valiant already accomplished here in Stage 3?
Well, the Valiant managed to 4-0 the Seoul Dynasty, something that not many teams can say that they have done, and they look damn good doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. 7th place right now in the overall standings, and they just need a few more wins under their belts, and then they are really sort of solidifying where they are placed in this league. Definitely in the runnings for the playoffs overall.
Now, when we look at this Valiant squad, they get the very impressive 4-0 against a Seoul lineup we didn't expect, but Valiant was also running some new faces. We saw Custa in the mix, but I felt like the supports weren't really the story of this team right now. What is the identity of this Valiant squad?
Well, right now, the Valiant's actually pretty happy with where they're at. The acquisitions that they made with Bunny coming in, with Custa, with Agilities back in the lineup, making things happen. It seems like the management and the team is happy with the players. And when that happens, when these rare scenarios occur, you've got teams that go on meteoric rises of improvement. And that's what I think the Valiant is trying to go for. They're trying to just hone in on that core and make sure that they improve as fast as they can.
And Brett, while we were watching this Seoul matchup, who impressed you most from this Valiant squad? Let's show some of the highlights here as we look back to the earlier matches. I mean, Soon was Tracer, but I love this Widow on Anubis.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Soon is definitely a name we need to mention, but the guy, once again, that I really do want to mention is Space alongside everyone else. The whole entire Valiant squad, in fact, has really impressed me quite a lot, because it's one thing to play incredibly well as a team that you've been around for a while, but the fact that they are playing so well with recent reintroductions to the team, like Space, you know, like Custa coming in as well, the fact that they are playing at such a high level and sort of dethroning Seoul Dynasty, a team that we would consider to be one of the best, is a feat in itself, honestly. You can't scoff at it.
They already had great communicators in Fate. Now you add Space to that mix. Custa on the support lines, always on the mic as well. So you got great communication coming in from Valiant in their win over Seoul. Let's talk about Shanghai Dragons. They put an end to their 24-map losing streak, and it was really on Junkertown behind 2-star new players they've added in Fearless and Otto.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 guys that we mentioned numerous amounts of times as Fearless and Ado. These guys have come into this roster. Again, a lot of pressure behind all of the players, all of the new additions to Shanghai, but the ones that really stood out for me has to be these guys, because they just work so well together, synergizing. Ado constantly coming out with his clutch Genji plays all the time, and Fearless with his Winston as well. A solid Winston player was what Shanghai were missing, and he definitely brings the pain.
Now we know Dia is on his way back. He's landing at 6 p.m. He may be at the airport right now. That means he's not likely playing today. So if you're not looking at Ado on that DPS role, who on this squad is going to be the key to victory if they're pulling off the upset today?
Key to victory. I think it's going to be Fearless. By playing as Winston is going to make a big difference when you're dealing with such a solid tank line out of the LA Valiant. However, I think that right now, Shanghai's putting a lot of pressure on themselves. You have the coaching staff already making claims. They're expecting to, or at least hoping for, a 500 record in this stage at least, which, hey, they can do that, right? It just started.
It's possible, entirely possible.
Brendan, does Shanghai get the upset today?
I'm going to say no.
We'll see if you flip-flop at the half. That's going to do it for our pre-match coverage. The teams are ready. Let's get this party started. It's Shanghai versus the Valiant.
The Shanghai Dragons are looking hot to trot. Oh, it's a drive-by. I don't think MG had insurance for that one.
And Valiant storming through this fight here. Kareem going to work. Oh, Roshan, he's on his own.
Oh, that's a stick. Unko, though, goes for the Transcendence.
Oh, Dia.
Oh, the good stuff.
Coming out first, it's your squad representing Los Angeles. Let's hear it for the Valiant. 12-9 overall, chasing that number 6 seed, trying to finish in the top half of our squads at the end of the overall season to get into those major playoffs. Today, they're going up against a squad at the bottom of the leaderboard, and really, this is where you get a chance to flex, to show your strength. We talked about the stars on this team. I want to see the DPS players, but really, I want to see what flexibility. Do they try any new compositions on the new maps?
I think they stick with what's tried and tested, and we know Valiant are very good at that. In fact, this is a team that I was surprised how opportunist they actually are. The fact that they can capitalize off the weaknesses of their opponents on the fly is a trait that most teams really do want. Soul used to be very good at it. These days, they're playing a lot more reactively, but Valiant seem to be the perfect mix, right, of both being opportunists and reacting to the enemy's play.
We got some claps for the former model there, Space, our MVP from his first matchup, coming here for match 2.
And the flexing I want to see from this team is neither muscle flexing out of space nor hero composition flexing. I want to see this team be ruthless today, being very disciplined. It doesn't matter what their opponents are doing as long as they hold true to what they know works. That's why we highlight their fundamentals. They need to hold their composure against the Shanghai Dragons.
We know Coach Moon holds his team to a very high standard. Will they be able to pull off a 4-0 and set themselves up for success here in Stage 3? We'll find out as they face off against their opponents on the right side of the stage. Let's hear it for the Shanghai Dragons. Storming the stage today with smiles on their faces, the Dragons. They are the underdogs. It's a squad that has been trying to fix the early errors. They've added new pieces. They got a big map win against the Dallas Fuel. Can they do it for the first time today and upset the Valiant? I don't know. We're going to find out, though, and I have to ask you guys, who is the star player other than Fearless and Otto? Is it going to be Altering? Is it going to be Sky? Are you going to put some pressure on the other tanks here? Gaguri may be back in the mix later in this series.
So, I mean, me personally, I want to see Damon, this guy, newly introduced. They only announced him last minute the other day, and this is a guy who didn't have a great showing in his game the other day, but towards the tail end, he started warming up a bit, which makes me believe, you know, maybe it was nerves, maybe he just wasn't used to it, and let's really see what he's capable now in this Valiant game. I mean, again, a trial by fire if you like, but he was showing some good signs on Junkertown.
And Crumbs, we just saw MG is in the starting lineup today. What do you think of that move from the off tank?
It's just more flexibility out of this squad. Last time we really only saw Altering coming back in, so the fact that MG's still sticking around means that they're trying to incorporate the pieces that were previously in the lineup that was a little more unsuccessful. So, hey, it could add more to their synergy that is necessary, especially in combining the tank line and the support's communication.
Remember, you have a mix of Chinese and Korean players, everyone trying to get on the same language in-game, keeping those calls simplistic. Will they be able to pull off the upset? It's got to start with game number 1. Let's send it over to our casters. We got Monty and Doa.
Thank you, Puckett. Game 1 is an excellent place to start an upset if you are the Shanghai Dragons, but it's going to be tough for them. He's not wrong. Shanghai Dragons going up against the LA Valiant, but guys, the Valiant actually just beat Seoul 4-0, and if they can do that, you'd have to think that the Dragons aren't going to pose much of a challenge, but you never know. The Dragons shuffling their roster around quite a bit. They're doing it again today, and we will see what they've got, starting out with Temple of Anubis.
And Temple of Anubis was a map the Valiant full held the Seoul Dynasty on earlier this week. Same thing with Junkertown, so looking particularly strong on a couple of these maps, and unfortunately for the Shanghai Dragons, the only map in this entire pool that they even have a win on is Junkertown. So it may be a bit tough until we get to the last map of this series.
It is tied with Dorado for the map they've got the most wins on in Overwatch League. They've got 2 wins on that map. But aside from that, it's looking a bit grim.
And as we take a look at the Valiant, they did run the 6-player roster that we're looking at right now for the entirety of their first match, really sticking with Soon and Agilities on those DPS roles. We've seen the Valiant add a lot more players, but this is the core. It seems they're going to run at the beginning of the season before they try and swap things out. Meanwhile, side of the Dragons, MG being in today, it does tend to hint that they might be going a little bit more Roadhog heavy, as that has been his best hero.
Yep, that is correct. Putting on some good performances with that, but if we're going to talk about off-tanks, I feel like we have to mention Space. What a debut for this guy.
Fantastic.
He played fantastically against Soul. You took my adjective.
I stole it before you could use it.
That's right, you got it just in time. And I'm expecting more good stuff from him today, and it sounds like now that he's finally of age, he is going to be quite the asset for LA Valiant.
As you can see, the Valiants have been fantastic on Anubis so far. Took it again from you there, Doha.
No, Winston, don't paint your face on the wall, then everyone knows you did it.
That's definitely not how you do
That's
vandalism.
a terrible way to vandalize things. Come on.
I think you can do it if you're a famous enough street artist, though.
That is true.
Then it's probably making that wall more valuable, like Banksy.
He's the Banksy of hyper-intelligent gorillas. Well, here we go. LA Valiant on the attack. They will go first against Shanghai Dragons here on Temple of Anubis. See what they've got. Looks like some pretty classic dive coming out of these guys.
Yeah, same thing from the Shanghai Dragons on the defense. We don't typically see a dive defense on point A of Temple of Anubis. Oftentimes, teams are focused around the Widowmaker and the Junkrat. And you actually see the Valiant are going to swap up their comp immediately. So they recognize that it's going to be dive. Soon will be on the Widowmaker, and Agility's on the Junkrat. So they're going to use a traditional defense composition for point A and try and attack here with it instead.
Well, this is something we've seen Houston put to great effect recently. Wouldn't be surprising to see other teams start to pick up on it. Agilities does go down early, though. MG picking up the finishing blow there, and goodbye Fate. So far, so good for the Shanghai Dragons. They're going to go aggressive with this defense now. Finish the fight. Fearless is down, but he's going to get res right away by 5king.
That's a great read
staggered
from Shanghai. They realize the Valiant were going back. They know that they have to get through that choke with these lower mobility heroes like the Widowmaker and the Junkrat. They jump on them right as they're trying to get in with the dive composition. It does what dive comps do, and Agility's going to need a little bit more protection as they approach.
That's right. Oh, and he doesn't have a lot there. Has to bounce himself away. Damon goes down early. 1 DPS eliminated for the Shanghai Dragons. Now MG pops that self-destruct as he gets demeched, but this is looking pretty good for LA Valiant. If they can keep pushing forward, they've got the man advantage.
Yeah, there's only 3 members of the Shanghai Dragons left. It's Mercy and Otto there on the Genji. They're going to be driven right out. Sky is on the opposite side of the point, maybe trying to fall down to contest, but he is dueling with Kareev up top.
Yeah, that's right, and he wins that duel as well. Kareev getting that kill. Now soon backing off to the high ground as Shanghai comes storming back in to get 1 tick taken by the LA Valiant so far.
And we do have the Riptire coming out already just to ensure that they can take this point with some expediency.
Good for kills, and he finds Damon again. Shanghai Dragons losing that Tracer. Now MG getting demeched, and it seems like it's only a matter of time. And this might add to quite a bit of momentum coming in for Valiant on point B.
And the problem with trying to defend that if you're the Shanghai Dragons is Soon was posted with an overlook of the entire point, and there was no way to remove him. So you really don't want to go in there. It's like a shooting gallery with the Widowmaker and the Junkrat, and now the Valiant have a significant ult advantage. Otto is down, and he was the one with the Dragon Blade.
Well, yeah, and I mean, he's the one who's supposed to mitigate Soon to a certain extent as well with that reflect, but goes down first. There's go Taman. No more DPS for Shanghai. Fearless dives in without really any support, and Valiant with a golden opportunity to make some real progress on point B. They've nearly got a tick already.
And now same problem. Soon is up top, and there's no one to actually push him off this vantage point. It is free firing into the point. And maybe Damon can turn it around now.
Well, MG taken out by Soon. Fate and Agilities did go down, but still there's 1 tick taken. Otto has died twice with his Dragon Blade up already on this defense. And it's gonna look like they're going to push Valiant back for the moment, but that's 1 tick. So off your first attack after point A, you're going to be happy with that if you're Valiant.
Damon rescuing too. That push could have been a lot worse as the Shanghai Dragons were badly staggered from the get-go. Valiant are coming back in now. They're going to be looking at a Riptire as well as that Valkyrie soon. And now we're going to see Kareev just trying to find this kill. Nearly catches Damon around the corner.
I mean, this guy's a pretty aggressive Zen, as he used to be a DPS anyway. Gets low health, but stays alive. Otto down 1 more time. Fate with that kill. It just seems like Otto's been a bit out of sync with the rest of the Dragons. He's died early in last 3 fights now on this point. Here comes a Riptire. Agility's finding Sky in the back lines. No Zenyatta for Valiant. And Sky was really close to that Transcendence too. More kills coming for Valiant, but they gotta get close to the point now.
And that's the issue, Doe, is the Widowmaker can't get on the point, so you're always fighting backwards.
Dragon
Otto
Blade
is shut
denied.
down.
That one hurts, man. Otto again trying to come in, finally pulls the blade, doesn't even get to left click once with it. Shanghai in a bit of trouble. Soon gets rezzed, of course. He's in the back lines. He's okay.
As back to control percent building right now. Valiant in firm control of point B, and that's going to be it eventually here, Noah.
You think so? I mean, now it's a matter of handling the respawns here. They pop the Transcendence to keep everybody up. Agility's with a little bit of low health. They've still got some fighting to do, but Valiant in a prime position to finish this one off. Goodbye, Fearless, man. Kareev, nobody can seem to really get back to him, and he's doing a ton of damage right now.
Yeah, Shanghai at least stalling this point out pretty well.
Trying, yeah.
But they're still at a pretty significant numbers disadvantage, and that's going to be it. Riptire will zone them out, and LA Valiant finish with 257.
Yeah, pretty good time for LA Valiant. Nearly 3 minutes in the time bank after taking both points of Temple of Anubis. Shanghai getting a little bit of delay on B, but overall it was a pretty quick affair for Valiant's first attack.
Yeah, Otto needs to be very careful with his positioning because, as you noted, Doa, he was pretty much going in solo a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Didn't have his tanks, wasn't communicating with either his tanks or supports about his positioning, ended up not having a lot of good opportunities for that Dragon Blade, and ends with a score line of 5 eliminations and 6 deaths, which for a DPS is
True.
less than ideal, let's put it that way.
And I mean, you can't spell Shadowburn without Otto, but still, at the same time, you don't have the whole name. You can't quite go in like that.
Yeah, he did get Soon at the end there, but it wasn't a great trade, obviously, because Soon was just resurrected. But it's all about coordination and talking to his teammates rather than approaching things by his lonesome.
We'll see what they've got on their attack now. MG on the Ana, I doubt we're going to see him stay on that. But I wonder if we are going to see them try some form of Junkrat Widow. I would imagine it's going to be more kind of classic dive out of these guys, but you don't know. I mean, there's been so many changes on Shanghai. I am kind of curious over the next few weeks, what sort of compositions they start to show us.
I think they should run dive again. If you try and run Junkrat Widow on attack into what is probably going to be Junkrat Widow on defense from the Valiant, you're going to be trying to crack the high ground. You're always going to be at a disadvantage with your own Junkrat and Widow. So
looks like it's going to be, okay, last second change over to Junkrat for agilities.
And the way the Valiant play this is pretty typical from what we saw of Stage 1 in Overwatch League when Anubis was in the pool. May boost onto that high ground. The Zenyatta and the Junkrat will typically play on the opposite side of the point, and that's when the D.Va and the Mercy can bounce over there if they need to protect the Zen. So it's all about, if you're on attack, finding an opportunity. And the resurrection has to come up for Sky as he is picked off by a damage boosted Soon, heading through the gap.
Yeah, so you're able to continue the attack if you're Shanghai, but now that res is down, and that's going to just make you a bit more uncomfortable as you try to push in here. Already the Junkrat grenades flying in, Valiant repositioning a little bit, trying to take both sides of the high ground here, as you often see Widow and Junkrat swapping sides with this defense. Trying to focus onto agilities here. He's a little bit vulnerable. Oh, Soon the one who goes down first, so MG finds a finishing blow on that one. They've got Valiant bottled up a little bit in the back. Space a bit low. They get Fearless. That Mercy heal, though, keeping Fate alive, or keeping Space alive, rather. And it looks like Valiant might be able to grind this one out. Otto goes in and he gets a kill on Acosta. Oh, Agilities responds, but no mercy for a little while for Valiant, so Shanghai is quick. Maybe they can turn something into this.
I think they might be able to. Killing that Mercy prevented Fate from getting revived there.
True.
So Otto finds the kill they need, and now they're going to have a faster time of regrouping. All 6 members of the Dragons are up. Custa does make it back in the nick of time.
I mean, somebody was going to give him the Guardian Angel positioning so he could fly back. Now the Riptire coming in for agility. He's coming over the top, and he finds Fearless. Ooh, main takedown, but the res is there.
That's the only res they have. They're still playing into the infra site, however. They know where Damon is. Damon is in the open and is easily picked off by Soon.
Man. Five King's actually lucky he didn't get taken out there.
And Soon's positioning is great right now because he has every access point to where they're going to come out, sees everything, and can zone Damon out at the same time.
He knows Damon should be back any second now. I think the dive on the high ground is about to commence. for Shanghai. Orb of Discord onto Soon as he backs off a bit more. Here comes a Dragon Blade. Otto needs a big one here. Where is everybody? Back on the high ground for him. And does he get a single kill out of it? No, it doesn't look like he does. Valiant falling back pretty safely. Self-destruct pushed off the ledge at the end. That's going to get the D-Mech onto MG. He's going to pop his self-destruct as well. Otto and Fearless do get kills on Soon and Fate here, so a chance for Shanghai Dragons. Transcendence now and Agilities needs to do work with this Junkrat. Fate down again, and Shanghai has a great opportunity here to take A.
Yes, they do. Fearless still alive. They are going to D-Max space. Kareev the next to fall.
Now they should get it here.
So Shanghai finally with a successful dive onto the high ground. Agilities uses the Riptire. That's not going to help save them in the end.
Wow, they draw the Transcendence out of Sky here, and Valiant actually coming in strong. That Riptire actually did a lot of work from Agilities.
Yeah, it did. Considering he got a kill immediately afterwards, Agilities is actually going to be able to turn this one around.
Yeah.
Kill and a D-Mech off the Riptire, and then the kill onto the Diva immediately afterwards.
Well, that was all but wrapped up by Shanghai, and Agilities kind of saved the day there.
Yeah, certainly did. Getting another Riptire. He started the fight with a Riptire, ended the fight with a Riptire, and is now 67% of his way to another Riptire.
You know, we've seen a lot of his Genji, and we know his Junkrat is good, so it's fun to see that get pulled out once in a while. Here's Shanghai attacking once more. They only need one tick to take point A, but they've only got 30 seconds to do it in. Now Fate with the Primal Rage. Good zoning on Sky on the outside of this fight here. Meanwhile, his team cleans up the rest of Shanghai. Cussa does go down, but I don't know if there's going to be enough time for them to put together a good attack here.
And that was the Shanghai Dragons strung out the entire length of the map. Backline was not there to provide the healing on the point. Meanwhile, Custa providing all of the healing to his tank. Space that
Can
was
they get there?
really just... Yeah, we're seeing this. Nope, nobody can get there.
All right, well, that's an LA Valiant victory to kick things off on Temple of Anubis. Looked pretty one-sided as it was a full hold for the Valiant defense.
It was a really good defense from Agilities, though, when it looked like Shanghai was going to take it. But that said, though, we've seen 2 Temple of Anubises now from Valiant. They have yet to drop a point on either of them.
Pretty much. I mean, now they move to 6 wins, 1 tie, 0 losses on Temple of Anubis. Good start for the LA Valiant as they move towards what they hope to be a 2-0 match week. We'll see if they can pull it off as we go into map number 2. Right after this break, we'll see you in just a few minutes.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
you guys ready to get this party started? Let's kick it off right now. It's Valiant versus the Seoul Dynasty. And I want to start this one with the Valiant. This squad completely changing up their lineup.
Unko has been traded, Silk Thread has been traded, and Envy has been released completely. And then on the other side, we have the additions. Kasta and Bunny has been acquired from the Seoul Dynasty.
Here is the new man, though. Space, shot caller, great mind.
Space walking in with the whole hog, goes for the hook.
The kid Space is making a name for himself.
We already highlighted Space, but what about Custa? Any Custa fans out there?
Custa looking good as we're used to from him.
Woo! Easy game.
That is a 4-0 over Seoul Dynasty.
I'm looking forward to the future with this roster. I think we have a lot of potential.
Well, I couldn't agree more with you, Space, and I think a lot of the future of this roster depends on that man on your screen right now. He has come in so strong. That match against Seoul looking awesome, looking pretty good today here against Shanghai already as well.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of eliminations and final blows. Also, only 3 deaths on Anubis. If you're a Valiant fan, I guess the only thing you could be disappointed about right now is the fact that they haven't, I think, had a good measuring stick. It's really hard to tell just how good they are because no one's really challenged them. And that's saying something considering they played Seoul.
Well, and also I'm sure people out there right now are going, whoa, they beat Seoul. How can you not say they're, amazing and good and fantastic? Well, Seoul played with a roster we're not really used to as much, and they didn't look like the Seoul Dynasty that you could use as a measuring stick for their normal strength. So, yeah, between that kind of odd match against Seoul, which Valiant did perform very well in, and now against Shanghai, obviously not the greatest team in the league, I think we're going to have to wait another match or two before we really see what Valiant can do when pressed.
Yeah, it's good, though, that they're starting out, I think, with some of these, I guess, you wouldn't have said that before, but having watched the Seoul game, easier games in the schedule because they've added all of these players to the roster. It's giving at least this core of 6 players a chance to gel. And we are going to see them for the first time now here on Blizzard World.
It hurts my totally unbiased caster heart when you talk about Seoul right now, Monty. Don't let's not talk about that anymore. I can't take it.
LW was the right pony to bet on in the end, Noah.
I guess so.
I win the long game.
I can't disagree with you there. Well, here we go to Blizzard World. A 3-stage hybrid map, brand new for stage number 3 here in the Overwatch League. It's very cool for a fanboy like me, especially. I'm admitting it.
Yeah, I know.
I can't help it.
I know you're just an unabashed nerd.
That's right. Makes me want to play World of Warcraft. Although it does also make me wonder what you can actually use that boat that's hanging there for. Clearly, if you lower it, it's not going to be rowed anywhere. So
it's just in dry dock.
It's
okay.
a decorative boat. Sometimes you have your hut, and your hut needs a decorative boat.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's the only possible explanation.
Yeah. Zenyatta confused at why he can kick Genji in the face and kill him, but he can't pop a balloon. I'm confused too, man. I don't understand this world. LA Valiant on the attack. Shanghai Dragons defending, of course. They're going to run Taemin on the Sombra, actually. Sombra Tracer defense.
We've seen a lot of these Sombra Tracer defenses on point A so far on Blizzard World. And a lot of times, many teams prefer to use the McCree in conjunction with the Tracer on this point on attack, but that's not really in the wheelhouse of this Valiant roster. Agility's not up to speed, I think, on the McCree or the Tracer.
Regular dive.
Yeah, soon can play both, so they are going to go, as you say, with the regular dive.
Yep, indeed. Fate was hacked for a little while, but it's worn off now. Gets really low, though, but the healing comes in. They've got Fearless separated, and Fearless isolated, taken down. Meanwhile, MG's mech explodes in the back of the point, and Valiant, with both tanks on Shanghai out of the way already, have a great chance to just take point A right now.
Wow, Fearless just ate the bait from the Los Angeles Valiant.
I mean, he's named Fearless.
He certainly looked fearless, but perhaps he should have had slightly more trepidation about going deep in that engagement, Doa, because he just got cut off from the healing. A Winston bubble was dropped to cut off line of sight. There was nothing that was going to save him.
I mean, it's a much better idea than, like, contemplative or something.
I don't know if that's true in this instance, Doa.
And this instance might have served him better. Here we go.
Pensive might be a better name.
Pensive, I'll name my ult account. Agility's with the Dragon Blade coming out. right now. Cuts down a couple people who can't finish off 5 King, but Fate is right there to get the killing blow.
Did enough damage to 5 King space. Revived and remech now. Damon with the EMP on the flank. So
that's right.
Looking for a chance to use that ability. Can't quite get there. And MG gets demeched at the very end of his boost.
Now, point B on Blizzard World is pretty insane because there's so many different flanking routes. The high ground is up there, but it's very attainable by both attack and defense. And Soon Bean sneaking again. Sky down. Great pick there by Soon.
Oh.
So the defense and the offense are going to have a tricky time to keep track of everybody.
And that was another just overextension from the Dragons. They used the EMP, but they only demech space afterwards, and Sky fell too soon. So a use of a critical ultimate is now going to be punished here.
Yep, that's right. It's going to be both Winston's using that Primal Rage, but Fearless not able to survive his. Meanwhile, Fate just knocking people off the high ground. He found Taman even. And that's going to be the payload continuing to move now. So Valiant just kind of grinding this one out.
Yeah, you still see the Shanghai Dragons needing to work on some of their coordination on these engages. Damon goes deep, but there's no follow-up damage, and Kareev is right there with the Transcendence to counter it, so there's no value from the EMP. They have a trance of their own, though, Shanghai Dragons.
Yeah.
Another chance to make it work here and get this defense in line.
All right, Transcendence comes in from Sky. Shanghai choosing this moment to attack. Goodbye, Custa. Good start, and now Agilities comes in to try to turn things around. They've got the self-destruct there. Kills 5 King. And Shanghai pushed back yet again. The payload still contested. It's way at the end of point B.
And Doa, they almost just lost the point there because they collapsed on everybody in those tunnels on the side of the map, but Soon was pushing the payload in true Soon fashion that
what
entire
else
time.
is new, right?
Look at that, they got it under 5 meters, so Shanghai double back to stop the payload progress.
I'm actually amazed that Soon lived through that, man. I mean, he had those pulse bombs. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Soon. Then you blew yourself up with your own pulse bomb. I cast or curse there, I guess. I've been really on a roll this week.
You've been on a roll with the caster curses. They've been immediate.
Just when you think you're safe, Doa opens his mouth. Kareev managed to avoid that EMP. He's still got the Transcendence in case they need to use it. FaZe gets pulse bomb though. Otto finds a good pick there. Custa with that Valkyrie. Kareev trying to save his support ultimate for a little while longer. They get the easy res onto Fate. Didn't even need to use the trance to set Custa up for that one.
There's the Primal Rage. He wants to put Kareev and Custa back. However, Agilities is there to deal some more damage. However, bouncing those supports around may not be enough.
I mean, Fearless just kind of jumps into the Valiant team by himself. And yeah, he's pushing people around, but you know, it's going to be the dive on the Shanghai side that works a bit better. That payload, again, nearly there. Fate went a little bit deep himself and didn't survive. And the respawns are so soon from this point B spawn. Agilities gets hacked as he pulls out the Dragon Blade. Still gets the kill on MG after he gets DMEC, though.
It's okay. Who needs abilities when the Dragon Blade's already out? Just run at people.
Who needs abilities when your name is Agilities?
That's definitely right.
That's right. Shanghai slowly losing people, but again, the spawn's so close, you get him back really quick on Blizzard World Defense. It's gonna be a meat grinder either way. Oh, and Space can't get back into the mech again.
And finally, the Dragons appear to have stabilized. It's just Fate, Agilities, and Kareev left, so they are going to have to reset. Again, the Valiant comes so close. This time, 3 meters and change, but they can't drive it home.
And they weren't actually able to kill Agilities either. Look at his health right now. It was down to like 25, but he managed to make it out. And that's big because if he would have been scattered, that would have meant maybe like, or staggered rather, that would have maybe meant 1.5 attacks for Valiant. Now they've got a good solid 2 if they go in pretty soon.
Here's another Dragon Blade attempt here, chasing Sky all the way back. He's gonna dodge the EMP this time.
That's right, support ultimates coming out for Valiant. Kareev very close to his Transcendence again once the Valkyrie is done. And Valiant coming out ahead in this fight so far, but you need to win it decisively. You need to get a big amount of kills in a short amount of time. Otherwise, those respawns will really mess with you.
And they do get it
anyway.
Yeah, they do get it eventually.
Yep.
They had the Valkyrie and the Dragon Blade out before the EMP came through. So sufficient healing and damage to push it over the line. And now well underway on point C.
That's right. Point C, pretty interesting. It's kind of this U shape with the big environmental hazard in the middle. You can come in from both sides. but as a defender, you don't have a lot of room. Now they're gonna dive in across the way. Soon, still in the back, takes a bit of damage and backs out. You come in, nice stick onto Fearless. He's gonna get very low. Gets out though and gets in range of Sky's Transcendence to stay alive. Fate the one who goes down. Shanghai kind of coming together on this defense at the end here. Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. I should not have said that. I'm so sorry, Shanghai. Valiant comes in with a re-engage, wins that fight off of another Dragon Blade from Agilities, and the payload is nearly there. 60 seconds remaining though for Valiant.
Shanghai still has a sound barrier though, and Valiant used most of their superior ult economy on that last push, so a chance here for Shanghai to come in and hold before the map can be completed.
Well, the pulse bomb onto MG, he's gonna have to, whoa, what the what? Okay.
Yeah, nobody's gonna get there.
All right.
Fate used the Primal Rage to provide the necessary knockback.
Guess so.
And no one from Shanghai makes it onto the payload, so Valiant finish with 42 seconds left.
All right, well, 3 points for Valiant. Shanghai Dragons going to be on the attack next to try to equalize. A little bit of a rough end for their defensive round, but I did feel like they were sort of coming together as far as the engages go at the end of point B, and yeah, it is a bit easier because your spawns are so close, but I feel like there was something there. A little bit.
It's just going to take time. They have so many new players. They're trying to find an optimal lineup, even compared to their last match.
Yeah.
Bringing in some new faces for their second game.
I mean, the fact
Stage
is,
3.
if you're a Shanghai Dragons fan, you're not looking to get wins right now, today, in this match or something like that, or even this week. You've got all these new players. There's a lot of reason to be excited about some of these guys. They've got some talent on the roster, and, you know, halfway through the stage, we'll check back in and see how they're doing, you know?
Absolutely. I think that's a good mark later on in this stage. See how much they've managed to improve, figure out their communication, figure out their synergy. For now, interestingly, Agilities will be playing the Sombra, so they are going to play with that Sombra Tracer defense, which is cool. Preferred on this point because there's not a lot of long sight lines. You can fight at short range when the enemy tries to take the point. There's not really any escaping because the point itself is very small, so the EMP effective.
See, I think Kariv was up there as Zenyatta again because he's just attracted to colorful orbs. That's why he must be close to the balloons. Pretty sure.
Makes sense for a Zenyatta player.
Yeah, I can relate. In case you weren't aware. Shanghai Dragons on the attack. Here we go. Dragon Agilities, yeah, using that blade pretty quick after getting it each time. And putting some pressure on at least with it. Not getting a couple kills, a couple team fight wins. Let's see how Shanghai approaches this. You can kind of go with both sides, but it is tricky approaching point A. This map is very different from other maps we've got in Overwatch.
Also hard not to get hacked, and Sky and Otto fall instantly.
Wow. Couple kills for the Zenyatta, and Shanghai on the way out. Damon sticks around, he got that hack, but 3 health remaining, and you're not gonna live through that.
And they keep on running out. They want MG's mech, but they're not gonna have a chance to get to it in time. Taking a look at this replay. Is trying to punish them as they go through the doors. A quick volley. Look, it's 2 kills with 1 volley. That's a value volley right
Pure
there,
skill.
Noah.
Pure skill, no luck involved.
Speaking of pure skill, no luck involved, Sky will kill Kariv from the choke point.
Hey, that's great for Dragons though. Well, until Custer res him anyway. Now Soon finds the kill on the Sky, and it goes in with the stick. Soon though, that damage denied. And so Shanghai with a chance here now with the kill on Soon to move in onto point A.
Yeah, they do. So Fearless gets Soon, and now they're trying to reposition. They're waiting for Sky to come back right now.
Yep, big EMP from Agilities. Pushing back the members of Shanghai. That's a couple kills already. Auto-tainment down. Why don't you just add the rest of the names to the list? Who is Shanghai has to back away. They're gonna come into the next fight with quite a few ults, but you know, so will Valiant.
That's true, but when we look at the Valiant, they still have to contest with the EMP from Damon, and they have to fight through 2 support ultimates at the same time. Oh, that is a late.
I guess he
jump off the edge. I mean, he wanted to get that mech back, but decided that there wasn't going to be a chance, which is true. Everybody from the Valiant fell back behind sightlines, but again, communication issues. You lose time if you can't make that decision quickly.
The lost and found Vikings right there. Maybe that's where his mech went. Never know.
Vikings would have been cooler with mechs, though. And they were pretty cool anyway.
I feel like there's got to be a board game somewhere. Who knows? Valiant only having to defend for another minute and a half about. Shanghai coming in, a lot of ults to use. This is going to be their time. They're going to lead with the Transcendence, it looks like. Fate going high, waiting to pop that Primal Rage. Now the Sound Barrier, Shanghai on their second support ultimate. Valiant using both of theirs.
And there's the EMP, and it's afterwards, so they can't get out of the way of this self-destruct.
That was a well-timed EMP for Taemin, but they need to finish the fight now. Soon still alive. Taemin very, very low, but he's got his team around him. Translocates out to the other side. Soon, finally taken down by Fearless, and it looks like that could be point A. Valiant has another chance to contest. We'll see if they want to do it. They would have to come in at the very end, and that's what they're going to do. Space coming in right away.
He's hacked immediately, though, so there's no defensive matrix, but maybe they can capitalize on this EMP.
Agilities, yeah, with his EMP, and they're getting a lot of kills out of this. They're going to hold the point, and now just 50 seconds remaining, going to be about 30 when Shanghai gets to come in on attack again, and a stagger here would be devastating. Sky gets out of the way just in time, though.
And Fate doesn't even have to use his Primal Rage to hold on to that point. The rest of the Valiant were there backing them up. So even though Space gets DMAC, the EMP catches the rest of the Shanghai Dragons, and they can't quite push it to 100%.
That's right. Maybe they'll have the Pulse Bomb with Auto. Oh, but they're not going to have their Zenyatta Agilities. Huge pick there on the Sombra to find Sky on the side of the fight somewhere.
Oh, and they're all in these rooms right now.
No.
And they're just getting bottled in.
The trip to Duskwood might become a permanent residence for the Shanghai Dragons. I don't know if they can get out. Will Valiant even let them get to the point? They're going to barely get there and cause OT in the end. But can they win the fight and take it? Soon has that Pulse Bomb ready to go. MG DMAX right off the bat. Sky should be back soon. Pulse Bomb thrown in. Fearless down, courtesy of Kareev. And Sky has swapped to the Soldier 76, but not able to do anything with it. They have another Sound Barrier, though.
It's a 3-on-3 Doa. Fate is going to take out Damon. Damon got an EMP right at the end.
Gonna be maybe another DMAC. Oh, 5 King down. Space just charging in there. Self-destruct gets dodged. More or less. And overtime going to expire pretty quickly after Fearless is down, I think. That's going to be it. So Valiant will take a 2-0 lead in this series. Another convincing win here on Blizzard World.
And another full hold by the Valiant.
That's right.
And another full hold also when they look like they're about to use the point. You can really tell the shot calling is working on this new look Valiant roster because they are accurately gauging the limits of their abilities to defend with a given ult economy.
Very true. A Valiant with the 2-0 lead. We're going into halftime, guys. We'll see what the desk has to say.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm playing close. Somber right side, Somber trying to get it right. Somber right. I'm touch point. Good job, boys.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
some noise. We're back live in LA, and so far it's all the Valiant dealing out some damage. 2-0 here at the half. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett at the desk. We got Bren, we've got Crumbs, and a whole lot of happy LA fans. This has been dominant.
And we got fancy graphics down there to tell us what's going on.
I like it.
Impressive.
Very
We're really
impressive.
stepping it up.
We're
at
up in the
Overwatch.
game every single show. You guys are up in the signs out there. I love it today. Brendan, let's jump into this series so far because the Valiant are coming off a 4-0 victory over the Seoul Dynasty. They've now made it 6 games in a row, and they've done it with 2 full holds on defense.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't underestimate them in any game that they're coming into here. Valiant are looking incredibly strong. The fact that they dethroned Seoul earlier on in the week and now they're coming on and they're basically just taking as many names as humanly possible. And we mentioned their standings a little bit earlier. They're currently sitting at the middle of the pack when it comes to those playoffs. And they really do just need as many wins and go as hard and as possible against these teams. They do not want to drop anything at all because it could affect it in the long term.
Not dropping any points in these maps is, I think, what's even more impressive out of this team. And Monty hit it right on the head, where it was the introduction of these new players, Space and Custom, more of the analytical minds to the squad. No longer is this a team that is thriving in the overtime pushes, but rather thinks about the decisions when the cards are on the table. They know, okay, Shanghai's in the point, we've got these ultimates, they've got these, this is how we need to approach the situation. We can do it, and it's a joy to watch.
Yeah.
Knowing the hero pool that we're seeing out of the Valiant so far, especially the DPS players soon in agilities, is there anything you could do as Shanghai coming into the second half to prepare?
It's hard.
For a win?
Honestly.
I think we got Control coming up next.
It is hard, right? Because Agility's then just pulled out the Sombra, right? And I mean, it's how do you prepare for this team when they're very solid on the roles that they play. I mean, yeah, you can, I guess, sort of try and attribute for the fact that you know what sort of style of dive they're going to be playing, but not even Seoul could do that. So how would you prepare for it in that instance? It's very difficult for them to do. Not impossible, but still very difficult.
Well, we have to be realistic here. The Shanghai team has had less time working together than any other team in the league. So having them come into what it seems to be one of the strongest teams in Stage 3 and somehow bring them the game is going to be really tough. So I think communication issues really seem to be affecting this team right now, and it's only going to take time. They're trying to learn languages to be able to talk to each other, and that support to just scream out, hey, I'm being dove, I need help. So it's going to take some time for this team to not just fix the end game.
So far, we've seen 5 King, we've seen MG. Will we see Altering? Will we see Gaguri in the second half? That's a big question. Also, Shanghai most likely waiting on Dia for his return next week. For now, though, guys, we have 2 more games to go in this series. The Valiant, they're in control of it. They need just one more map to lock up the match. Who are the players to watch so far? Who's in the early player of the match nominees?
So for me personally, I'm actually leaning more towards Kareev on the support role. I think you really need to put a lot of emphasis on this guy because to switch from support to DPS back to support again, you know, that's quite a challenge. And the guy is he's playing very well.
Where you going, Brad?
Let's go! I mean, it's a challenge, and the guy has honestly nailed it. The fact that he can just go straight back into that role like he never even left it is very impressive to me.
He didn't like playing support, or DPS, actually. He'd rather play support, but I'm with you on the same boat. I think supports are doing a really good job, and I like seeing Custa playing the Mercy. I think it's actually a really good fit. It allows him to take a more passive stance, go for more of that shot calling, and it really boosts the damage that Kareev is doing. Yeah. He works very well with Agility's Genji being pocketed, and when it comes to Widowmaker and Mercy, I mean, it's basically part of the meta. You're not going to get away from this.
All right, I love it. Both players supports being nominees here for the early player of the match. We're going to find out who comes up top with that award at the end of the series. 2 more games to go. When we come back, we got Ilios for you. Make some noise, Blizzard Arena. We'll be right back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
a 2-0 lead over the Shanghai Dragons, and I gotta say, this is the most defense I've seen an LA sports franchise play in a very long time. You guys didn't like that. Hey, it's the truth, though. It's the truth. Sidebar, for all you guys watching at home on twitch.tv, be sure to check out the Overwatch League All Access Pass if you want an enhanced viewing experience. Some pretty cool stuff, and it's available for the entirety of Stage 3 for absolutely free. Now, guys, we have a whole another half left to go. Can the Shanghai Dragons pull off the reverse sweep? Let's find out right now and send it back to our casters, Monty and Doe.
Thanks, Malik. That's right. 2 more maps to go in LA Valiant versus Shanghai Dragons, and so far it has been all Valiant.
Yeah, it has been. How do you say it any other way? They haven't given up a point yet. They've completed both of the maps that they've been on, so Valiant continue to look strong, and I think it's really interesting to see Agilities on a lot of these maps because he really has leveled up. Took a little ride on the bench there behind Kareev for a while, but he's come back better, improved.
Indeed, and Freefeel subbing in for Sky here as we go towards Ilios, our control map of the day, and Kakari in for MG. See what you can bring to the off-tank role. I just want to see her Zarya. That's the thing. Kakari was well known for her Zarya play. She's a fantastic Zarya. It's not really a meta that supports it as much right now, but I have hope.
I have hope as well. Unfortunately, Ilios also not the map that we're likely to see Zarya on, so we may be waiting for a while. And otherwise, let's see what the Shanghai Dragons can do. If they can duke it out on Ilios here. Has been pretty cut and dry compositions for the Shanghai Dragons. They did run Dive last time they played here on Lighthouse earlier this week.
You know, I can't help but think back to the end of Stage 2 when Shanghai lost Dia and Undead for a while, and they started playing triple tank for a little while, and they looked better. They looked much better, in fact. And you can't help but kind of think with a player like Kakari on there who's known for her Zarya, maybe you bring the triple tank back at some point. I know it's not really as meta as it has been in the past, but again, for Shanghai, I think you just got to do what works, and I feel like that might.
I just think the map pool this stage is not ideal for it. When we don't have a map like King's Row, I think it's a lot harder to run some of these compositions, unfortunately. And this is a map pool that really does reward, like we saw in Stage 1, a lot of Widowmaker play and a lot of Junkrat play.
Yep. True enough, not to mention you have Sombra running around hacking tanks all the time. So.
That's very true. I mean,
there you go.
A hacked tank is hardly, it's just as basically an ult battery. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's true.
Get farmed for ult percentage, and we are going to see Agilities now on the Pharah.
Cool.
And some more Tracer and Sombra action from the Shanghai Dragons.
It's going to be Lighthouse as the 2 teams clash here on our first round, and Ilios Freefeel down immediately. Agility's raining a little bit of early death from above.
He just flanked the entire formation of the Shanghai Dragons and went straight after that support.
And now it's damage coming from 2 very different vectors as Soon takes out Taman in the back lines as well.
Interesting. Freefeel going to be on the Moira.
Huh, okay.
And so what this says is they want to ignore the Pharah, rush the point, and use the AoE healing in order to get an advantage in the brawl on the point itself. You can see they're waiting right now. They're waiting for it's like a speed boost from 5King.
In such a small room, you can get a lot done with that Moira. You can build the ult very quickly, too. You can see he's already up to about 50%. Freefeel on that Moira. Soon, meanwhile, nearly has his Pulse Bomb himself. Now Kakari taking a little bit of damage. Soon looking for a place to put that Pulse Bomb.
They hacked Agilities, actually. He just dropped right out of the sky there for a second.
Wow, yeah. Managed to live, but Fearless did not. Space runs him down. There goes Freefeel. Soon coming in and finishing that one off, and Shanghai just not able to really approach the point. 5King knocked down to maybe 3 or 4 King there. And Shanghai's going to have to reset.
And that they are. This is a great composition if you can close the gap, if you can run across the open space and get onto the point. But Valiant controlling space beautifully, and not just because Space is a player on their roster, but the space between the point and the Shanghai Dragons. They can't get over there. Freefeel picked off. That'll be answered by Damon, however.
Well, Damon gets a bit of revenge, but that Coalescence just completely wasted here. Custa takes some damage from the Pulse Bomb that got thrown in by Otto just there in space, finds a kill into 5King. Damon does drop the EMP, but Valiant storming right back in space, making his presence felt in a big way. See ya, Fearless. might have been able to jump back up, but hey, it's time to reset anyway, so just take the fall, it looks like.
EMPs are cool, Doa, but they're not so cool when you don't have any damage to capitalize on a couple of hacked tanks. And everyone's in such close proximity to space that he can just stand there, hold down his left click, and mow everyone down on the point.
Free field back on Zenyatta again, you know, the same comp, but they changed supports, and just the indecisiveness is kind of starting to hurt them now. It's going to be tough to get that Transcendence over time. Free field down, tough to get the Transcendence when you're dead too. And Fate just looking for that opportunity to pop the Primal Rage. Kekri does get Custa, but I don't think it's going to be enough. No, Valiant just crushing this fight in the end anyway. 5 King hopping around the wall, being a little bit irritating on the Lucio, but they don't have the bodies to take the point. Goodbye, Fearless. A little bit of help from Agility to finish that one off, and that's going to be Valiant. 100-0 on Lighthouse.
Convincing, and I like the composition that we saw from the Shanghai Dragons, but
I like that sign.
Everyone just takes so much time to get there, and if Valiant read it correctly, which they did, they're going to take a lot of rocket damage before they can make an aggressive play onto the point. Maybe somebody gets picked off. It takes a lot of coordination to get to that point and fight on it without losing somebody in the process.
Right. So as we can see on our screen, we are going to be moving to Ruins next. So you can probably expect some soon Widowmaker. We will see, and it looks like maybe some triple tank actually coming in from Valiant. Last minute switches, no, it is going to be Reinhardt, Diva, and Roadhog, the tanks for the Valiant. Intelligently having the Moira in there for all that AoE healing, as they will be sticking together here. Shanghai going for a bit of time with the Widowmaker themselves. Taemin, though, it's a big ask to fight 1v1 with Soon. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, they're definitely playing more conventionally with the Widow Tracer. However, you can see that the members of the Valiant are clustered out of sightlines on the point right now, and they have position. So now the Shanghai Dragons have to fight onto the point for triple tank, and that's going to be a big problem.
Otto trying to put a bit of pressure onto Soon. Ooh, that's a big shot taken out of Taemin. He needs some healing, gets the Orb of Harmony there. Oh man, he manages to live for the moment. Freefield takes a hit. It looks like it will be Valiant claiming the point. Meanwhile, oh, and Taemin! It's a flying snipe onto Soon. That grappling hook did not connect the way Soon wanted. Shanghai with a chance to take it right back here. There's a big kill onto Fate. And this triple tank for Valiant not really able to hold the point really.
But they do get 20%, so at least they get something for their trouble. That was a patient push from the Dragons. Otto was hurting Soon onto the high ground. Taemin took a great angle on him, and they just enclosed the Valiant on the point, attacking them from multiple angles, taking advantage of their mobility to punish the backline of the Valiant.
A lot of ults coming up now for the LA Valiant. See if they can put them to use, taking the point back. Otto sneaking in the back, though. Fearless there to cause some annoyance. Soon in a lot of trouble here. Gets up to the high ground. Gets out of sight from Otto. Otto has to rejoin the fight. Ooh, takes a shot the way back, but he gets a stick. Onto the Diva space. Manages to pop that self-destruct in time, though, and 2 kills already coming in for the Valiant. Soon down, but on the point. LA's looking pretty good. Gotta watch out for that self-destruct, though. Freefield down. Kekri taken out during her self-destruct. And they don't even need to use a lot of these big ultimates. Just a whole hog committed to that one, it looks like.
Speaking of committing ults, Doa, Fearless.
Oh no! It's like T-ball! Fate just hammered Freefield. A little bit extra damage from Agility to finish it, but that was comical and a little bit sad. Mostly comical.
Mostly comical.
Mostly comical.
Just like most of the combos in Overwatch. More entertaining.
That was pretty good.
Than sad.
Chain into the hammer. Ouch. Time to what? Now we'll never know what it's time for.
All right, the Shanghai Dragons coming in along the flanking route this time. They want to get and fight directly on the point.
That's a plan, but Fate still has that bigger shatter ready to go. Agility's going to kill the Felix. Oh, that is a big one! And there's a charged Freefield in Transcendence, so he didn't die, but taken away from his team. Finished off soon afterwards. Both supports out of the way. And Valiant, again, not having to commit a whole lot to winning that one. Just the Sound Barrier and the Earth Shatter. Still 3 ults left.
Yeah, 4 people left on the point for the Valiant. Dragons trying to regroup, but they're not going to have any time while they're at a player advantage as they come on in. Soon will be there with his crosshairs over the point in plenty of time. Dragons Like the supports are going to be coming around that right-hand side again. Agilities goes fishing and comes up empty-handed.
Indeed. Agilities has to drop back down again. Attack from both sides here. The tanks coming in from behind for Shanghai. Whole hog pop, but he's losing a lot of health. He's going to go down. 5 King roasted, though, by Kariv's Coalescence, and they're going to zone free feel out a little bit. A lot of kills coming in for Shanghai, though. Self-destruct. Kakari gets space with that one. Self-destruct, V self-destruct, and Shanghai Dragons at the very end look like they're going to flip the point.
And even better for the Dragons, the Valiant are going to be dry when it comes to ultimates. As we take a look, maybe they can get that Earth Shatter up, but it's going to take them a while. So the Dragons are coming up on a Transcendence. They'll have a faster Valkyrie. They have a real chance to come back here and take the point on Ruins.
That's right. 99% for Valiant, but Shanghai Dragons getting pretty close himself to, ooh, Kariv nearly down. Got the heals at the very last second. Damon really starting to find these shots on the Widowmaker, but there's the Earth Shatter. They did knock down Kakari, but no kill after that. Free field, though, gets the one on Akasa. They do get the D-Mech as well. Soon, finally, finds a shot. And it looks like Valiant's just gonna walk back in and take this.
And they are, because they got the Shatter onto Free Field, so he didn't have a chance to use the Transcendence. 5 King gets killed while he's trying to resurrect, so the support ults just aren't there.
That will be yet another map win for LA Valiant. They've won the series, 3 maps already, still 1 more to go to see if they can get that 4-0 and go 8-0 on the week for maps.
Would be a spectacular start to stage 3 for the Valiant after their struggles in the last stage of competition. Everything looks like it's coming together for them.
I believe the last time they had a 2-match win week was week 2 of stage 2. Looking like it's gonna happen this time, though. We will find out after we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, guys. That's right, one more map to play between LA Valiant and Shanghai Dragons. LA Valiant already with 3 map wins today. If they get another one, it's actually going to be their first back-to-back 4-0s in the Overwatch League. So big week for these guys.
Yeah, big start after a large roster shakeup.
Yeah.
I mean, they kept mostly their core, obviously. You know, Kareev was playing a lot of DPS in Stage 2, but now he's back to where he wants to be on that flex support role.
Indeed. And so, Ilios went the way of the Valiant, and now we're going to move to Junkertown.
And Junkertown is a very interesting map because we do see some unusual strategies. And we saw the Valiant play a double sniper strategy earlier this week. And to get you guys prepared for what you're going to see, check out Soon and Kareev on the flanks here. This is typical, while the tank core will push up into the middle. And the main thing you're doing with this double sniper strat is trying to condense your enemy alongside one of these buildings. And that's done because you're cutting off a lot of these sight lines. And you see, as soon as they're all bunched up, that's when the Dragon Strike goes through the building to take out Munchkin right here. So it's all about controlling space. Sight lines are used to corral people, and then you look for a hook or a halt or a halt-hook combo from the Orisa Roadhog. And Valiant are very good at executing this, but hope that helps as we're starting out this map with the Valiant on the attack, because we will almost certainly see the same strategy.
Yeah, well, it is fun to see the double sniper, Valiant putting it to effective use, as we just saw in their last map. And here we are again, and they are attacking first, of course. So a chance to pull that out right away.
I think that's probably what they're going to do. It was a very popular strategy in Stage 1, and it is effective against teams with weaker communication, because you have to be paying attention to where both snipers are, and you have to be making sure you're keeping track of hook and halt cooldowns, because if you get grouped up, you can get a lot of people pulled by the halt straight into a hook. If your support is out of position, that's where a sniper will one-shot it. Very difficult to play defense against.
And already we see Kareev on that Hanzo. Wouldn't be shocked at all. Yeah, soon there's a Widowmaker, and it will be that double sniper look from the LA Valiant, it appears. Here on Junkertown, Valiant on the attack. Oh, well, Agility's on the Junkrat, okay.
So they are going to be going with this and providing that extra spam. So it's going to be the same thing that we saw.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like with Agility at that last second swap. And
yeah, just a single support.
Yeah, just a single support. Yeah, you can get away with it on this map because there is a lot of self-healing from the Roadhog. So you don't necessarily need it, and your snipers are not intended to take damage.
And you don't want to heal Hanzo, so you don't have to worry about that. So one support's fine. Oh, that Hall Hook nearly coming in. Space can't quite connect with it though.
Or even sooner, actually on the same side of the map, trying to double sniper flank. This is something you rarely see, but there's a good one.
Like grabs Kakery, she gets back into the building though, just in time. Agility's down. So Shanghai actually getting the first kill. Space soon follows it up with one onto Damon.
Agility's a little bit too far on the flank, but Fearless is gonna get hooked.
Man,
soon with the finisher with the snipe, and now Agilities will be back in the mix. Final snipe onto Freefield from Kareev is going to make this very difficult. Fortunately, Freefield gets revived until he doesn't.
Not for long. It was a short and painful life for Freefield after that res came in. Ooh, Otto gets a kill into Soon, but there's a res coming in from Custa. So they are going to take point A in style.
So a bit of a mix-up when it came to positioning there with Kareev and Soon playing together, but thanks to the hooks from space, does end up.
Hooks from space? That sounds terrifying.
Just dropping down from the sky.
Oh, you mean the player space? Oh, okay. I get it. Well, Riptire coming in from the Shanghai side. Damon throwing that one out. Let's see if he can find anybody with it. Agility's just got his up. Looking for it. No, shot down by Soon. They backed off, waited to find the Riptire. Now they can go back in again.
Yeah, counter Riptire coming out from Agilities.
That's right.
For a target, wants a support, is gonna get a Widow, and that will be a resurrection immediately.
Seems that way. Meanwhile, Space does finish off Fearless. Fivekin gets a res onto Otto. Good with a kill there. Now Space just pulling out the whole hog. Oh, he had such a great angle for that. That halt bringing Shanghai into the Roadhog ultimate again. That's a big pushback and a lot of distance coming in from the Valiant. They're just gonna throw the Dragon Strike down the middle. Freefield gets hooked again, and Shanghai just shoved back all the way.
Alt hook combo working wonders for the Valiant right now. Dragon Strike thrown away a little bit as Shanghai were already well and truly on the retreat.
It's a zoning ultimate, Monty. It's a zoning ultimate.
It created a great zone, Noah. What can I say?
It's the greatest zone. Point B taken either way. Kariv's still on that Hanzo. Nope, never mind. I cast or cursed Hanzo there.
Yeah,
now the Reaper for Kariv.
Yeah, you're definitely going to want to swap off of the Hanzo. Probably was throwing that out in anticipation of them taking point B. The deal was sealed by the pick onto free field. But playing the Reaper is a bit strange into what has turned into a dive composition for the Shanghai Dragon.
They are going to dive right in, but Kariv countering it with the Reaper shots right into Fearless. There's a self-destruct. He's going to fade to get out of it. Shanghai still picking up a lot of kills in this fight, though. Valiant needs to back off here.
Kariv just trying to cover up this hallway right now. Going to be coming in from the top side.
Yep, that's right. Retreated a bit, and now back in again, but still losing a few more people. And that's going to be Shanghai Dragons getting a bit of stability on the point.
I don't think they recognized that the dive comp was going to be used by Shanghai, and so now they may make some adjustments. Space goes over to the Diva as a response. Kariv really wants to play.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, it was getting a little weird there, Doa. They decide finally that maybe they should have two supports.
I mean, you take point A and B that quickly, you kind of feel like you can play a little bit loose for point C, but nope, got to get serious here. Valiant switching it up. The dive from Shanghai, though, over the top here, but Fearless the one to fall first. Otto pulls out the Dragon Blade, gets a kill onto Fate, but he's low health here. Custa down. Great blade from Otto, but finally Agilities finishes him off.
Agility's low, though, and getting chased around by Damon will not be found.
Soon pushing the payload while the rest of while everybody else fights. What else is new?
Hey, it
works.
It
great.
does work, and I think that's what's so great about Soon as a player. He's got his own style of Tracer, and that means he plays objectives. And it also is just incredibly disruptive to play against him because you're second-guessing yourself. You see that payload start to move while you're in a fight, and then half your team can scramble, panic, and peel back.
That's very distracting. You really kind of end up with a lot of teams having to split their attention and lose fights that way. Pulse Bomb goes in, Soon not picking up any kills with that one. Custa, though, Fearless finds him with the Primal Rage, and Soon back on the payload again. Look, he's moving it. Decided to go join the fight one more time. Has to exit as his team is losing this one.
Yeah, needs to get out now. So Shanghai Dragons have managed to stabilize Mercy and Zenyatta, 5 King and Free Field, both with support ultimates. Used them well in tandem the last time those were up, and Shanghai doing a good job of a long hold here on point C.
Yep. Eating up a lot off the clock so far. After point A and B went pretty quick. Now Fate down again, was a little bit on his own, didn't have the support from his team that he needed. Valkyrie comes out for Custa. They can't get the res, so Kariv down. Ooh, I don't know about that Mercy ultimate from Valiant. They do get the res on the Kariv, but they're gonna need a lot more to turn this fight around.
Soon still playing the payload right now, but the rest of his team grabs a couple of kills. Free Field will take Soon in the end, though. Agility's in the back line. Free Field's gonna kill him too. He got both of the DPS.
Wow. Free Field doing pretty well in the Zenyatta now. Fate with a couple kills himself. Valiant not out of the fight just yet. Fearless drops. 2 minutes remaining for Valiant. They're on the payload.
Shanghai still has both of those support also. Throughout all of that, they didn't commit.
Yeah, 6 ultimates for Shanghai. 4 now for Valiant.
Got all the hallmarks of a strong hold here. We'll see how disciplined they can be in rationing out these ultimates.
Nice stick. Oh, it's going to cause the Transcendence right away from Kariv. Stays alive. They need to make something out of this Zenyatta, although Agility is going to try to do just that. With the blade, gets 3. Whoa! K-Curry finds a return kill onto Soon. Custa gets a res onto Fate, though. So Valiant not done just yet. Custa down. Shanghai still very much in this fight. It looks like they're going to shove Valiant back.
They engaged with the Transcendence, but that was the trigger to cause Agilities to pull out that Dragon Blade after it ended.
Yeah.
And that causes Shanghai to use 5 of their ults throughout that fight. So with a minute 8, Valiant may have found themselves a little bit of a window, especially with Custa coming up on that Valkyrie.
Yeah, and you know Agilities is going to get that Dragon Blade extremely fast too, 80%. Yeah, he's going to have it for sure.
They're relying on
There it is.
Fearless to buy time for the rest of their ults right now.
Free Field, what was he doing up there? A little bit on his own. Singled out. Kariv, though, falls as well. 5 King down, Agilities with the Dragon Blade, and he's making it work. Meanwhile, Soon still pushing that payload. Otto a little bit on his own now. The rest of his team falling around him. The payload nearly there. Maybe one last desperate defense for Shanghai. Auto taken out. There's the self-destruct. Custa gets that final kill.
Stick.
Oh, and a stick on the 5 King. He can't join the fight. And Freefeel on his own. He needs to win the duel. He does, but he gets taken out immediately by Agility. So Valiant grinding out the end of this fight here. And Fearless in a lot of trouble as Kakery did not last long, and that is it. So it will be 11 seconds still on the clock, and Valiant will finish their attack run.
Just barely. And again with Shanghai, you look and you say, okay, they were almost there. The 6 ult bank, if you had been a little bit more disciplined with it, maybe you can stretch that out into a map win. But the communication just not there yet for them to decide in the heat of the moment how they're going to sequence their ult, what they are going to save.
Yeah, and it's tough because you've got these new players, but not only is it new faces, it's a bit of a language barrier too.
Certainly.
That's right. So, Shanghai on the attack now. Pretty solid hold. Now it's their chance to try to equalize here.
They do have 2 map wins on Junkertown in the Overwatch League. So
it is one of their better maps.
It is definitely one of their better maps. In general, Shanghai tends to be the best at escort maps on the whole. They have the highest number of wins on escort overall.
Yeah. True enough. Like we mentioned, Dorado, the other map that they've got an equal amount of wins in, 2 on each. Shanghai looking to make it 3 on this map at least. Looks like Fate is deciding he doesn't want to play the Lucio, just kind of speed boosting everybody out there, I guess. Yep. Shocking. Fate not wanting to play the Lucio. Can't believe it.
We'll see if they can take that energy.
I think they're going to generate a lot of their own energy as the stage progresses, too. I think this is going to be finally the stage where we see them get a match win. Not today, but I think it's coming at some point.
I prefer teams that can generate their own energy, like the Fusion. It's in the name.
I suppose that's true. That is true. But I guess Uprising implies some sort of increase in potential for action.
We are going to see Valiant on their same defensive setup that they played against Seoul. This time, Kareem will be on the Roadhog.
That's right.
Space will be playing that Diva. So triple tanks, 5 King.
Gets blown up immediately by Agilities.
Freefeel will be running the Bastion. Last time it was Sky on the Bastion when we saw Shanghai playing, so they want to go with the same strat, different player.
And we saw a lot of this in stage 2, or stage 1 rather, where we had the double sniper with the Bastion onto the payload, kind of a modified pirate ship, if you will. Angry just sitting on the payload for the moment. Putting the shields down there.
Oh, actually, Freefeel got hooked there, but it was broken by the line of sight.
Fearless and Auto down, though. Valiant starting to come up with some kills in this fight, and Shanghai on the run. Nice halt to bring Freefeel in, and that's going to be a kill for Kareem. Shanghai sent packing.
And this is where you really have to start thinking about switching off the Bastion, because if you get stalled here, getting the Bastion back to the payload is so difficult with the open space.
They already swapped too. Freefeel on the Zenyatta now, Damon over to the Junkrat, and yeah, that's right. With the Bastion strat on point A, if you get dislodged once, you pretty much have to switch it up.
Yeah, now they're gonna try and spam down this Orisa barrier in the front. Soon with the infra sight, daring somebody to walk out. Oh, Otto slips through, and so does Freefeel.
Whoa, all right. Uncharacteristic misses for Soon. A little bit of damage onto Freefeel. And Agility's coming in with the tire. Oh, he finds 5 King. Otto does get Custa, though, so both Mercies out of the way. Both Orisas out of the way. One Junkrat now. Will the other Junkrat fall? Nope. Gonna be Widowmaker this time.
Yeah, Space decides that he's just gonna all in Otto, but Freefeel has picked up quite a few kills.
He's been winning a lot of these 1v1 duels.
He's been doing really well in the last few minutes.
Yes, he has. Space has to flee the fight, so the payload gonna get most of the way there through point A. It looks like Valiant might have another chance for a last-minute defense here. But yeah, Freefeel's been looking impressive actually on the Zenyatta today.
Has been. So Shanghai now going to have a supercharger from Kakery and also 5 King.
Oh, he's got him.
Oh, Freefeel, it's the dance, and he gets another one. Okay, you do not expect that Zenyatta to be up there.
No, you don't. No, you don't, but yeah, if you get the first hit on the Widowmaker like that at close range, they're not gonna kill you. That's a Zen feel-good moment right there, and it's a feel-good moment for the Shanghai Dragons as they take point A. Oh, yeah.
Free Feel is just getting in the DPS's face now.
Yep.
He was waiting for them to come to him, and now he's just going straight to them, covering that corridor.
Yeah.
Soon is blindsided by the aggressive flanking Zenyatta.
I like it, though. Feel channeling a bit of Jonak here. And a good offensive position for Shanghai as they try to push through point B.
Taking that typical high ground spot that we see teams that win fights. Attack.
Like no health left. He's got to have like 0.5 HP. Refill finishes him off. Nice shot onto Soon there. Otto, who can't quite get the finishing blow, but it's something. Karif coming back to fight. He's like, I'm not the only Zenyatta or that you have to worry about. Refill though, a Zenyatta you don't have to worry about anymore as he's gonna get taken down. Agility's with 2 actually on that Junkrat, but now they have to worry about Damon's Riptire.
Agility's just bursting him down before he can use the Transcendence. That's gonna be a nice resurrection courtesy of Kosta Fate galloping back into action. And it will now be the Valiant overtaking that high ground, but Agility just dies to a trap.
Whoops.
He wasn't healed, he was low HP, and he just walks into a trap.
Don't see that happen too often. They're gonna need to wait for him to come back. Now he can send the Riptire in before he gets back to the fight, so he can be part of the fight if they wanna try to hold B here.
Everybody just backing out now. Soon not even daring to peek out.
Yep, he's gonna send the tire in ahead. Oh, and he finds Otto. And now it's a 6v5 on the point. Valiant gonna try to hold Shanghai back a little bit longer. Looks like Shanghai's just gonna wait.
Wow, that was actually a really poor position for Otto to die in because he was so far forward that Agilities was covering his body. So no way to actually leap in and pull off any kind of resurrection. So perhaps not conservative enough there from the side of the Dragons.
Fate nearly pulled in. Now Shanghai looking a little bit hesitant here.
No one can have that from my sight.
Oh man, free feel. Goes to the right click and Otto shows his face. And soon takes it off. Gets the res though. Now, and soon just trying to keep everybody backed up, but now he's got Kaguri all over him and he's not gonna be able to survive free feel with the finishing blow there. Valiant though coming out with a couple kills. They're still ready for the defense. Kaguri doing what she can with the Bunny Blaster, but Soon is there with the headshot as well. And Valiant looks like they're gonna push Shanghai back one more time.
They committed so hard to trying to take out Soon in that fight. They got baited onto the high ground. Resurrection all too easy for Kosta, who had already swooped up to cover his sniper. And now take a look at the map overview in the bottom. Everyone resetting on the side of the Valiant.
Really long stall on point B here for the Valiant. Under a minute remaining now for Shanghai. It's getting down to do or die time for them. Only that Transcendence, really. They're gonna go for the dive on the high ground, get pushed back a little bit. Ooh, 5 King already really low. Needs to be careful, they do get bait. Good start for Shanghai. Kusta under a lot of threat as well. There's a self-destruct. Kusta gets a res on a Fate. Somehow escaped Kaguri there. Now Agilities coming in with the Dragon Blade. Transcendence can't block a lot of that damage, but it can heal a little bit. Soon though, with 2 headshots, Otto and Fearless taken out, and Shanghai in a lot of trouble. They are down to 20 seconds.
Soon just taking care of everybody with a little help from Garib, a 3K on the Widowmaker.
Yep.
And now they have to run into his sights to make it back to the payload. He's already there, slowing them down with the Infrasight. One shot onto the Winston. Orb of Discord there, Otto.
I mean, Fearless had like 40% health when he joined that fight after Soon found the headshot. Nobody can even get to the payload. Valiant wins the match 4-0.
And that's a big win, 2-0 in the first week for the new look Valiant, and flawless when it comes to the map score.
Yeah, a 2-match win week, something they haven't done, like we mentioned earlier, since Stage 2, Week 2. It's been a while, but coming into Stage 3, very, very strong.
I'm just impressed that the Valiant, we talked about them in the first 2 stages as being a team that hit its stride in overtime. It seemed like they weren't really creating great plans, even though they had a high individual skill ceiling that could sometimes push them over the top when it was most desperate. Now, though, we see much better ult economy with Space and Custa in the lineup, better planning coming in, and it really has revolutionized the way the Valiant are shot calling.
Yeah, this is it's only the first week of Stage 3, but already Valiant putting on a playoff performance. We'll see if they can keep it up in future weeks, but man, what a nice start for the green and gold. We're taking a bit of a break, guys, and when we come back, the desk breaks down that match. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you then.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, one and all. This is Zoe, and I'm now joined by Costa from the LA Valiant. Please give it up to the newest addition to the Valiant. Now, let's talk a little bit about the game we just saw. Crumbs just couldn't stop praising your Mercy during halftime, and that's a recent transition we've seen out of you. We're more used to you on Zenyatta. How do you like it on the Mercy?
Yeah, Mercy's good. Just before I left Dallas, I started making the transition from the Zenyatta role to the sort of flex support. So it's been a bit of a teething period. You know, definitely had to put a lot of work in, but I'm pretty happy with how I'm playing. So playing with Valiant is an amazing experience, and you know, they're really helping me get through it.
All right. Now, talking about you joining the Valiant, what has this swapping process been like for you? How was that trade?
Yeah, the trade was interesting. I wasn't expecting it coming out of stage 2. So Carla approached me and said, yeah, this is a trade we want to make. So I was first taken aback, and then I was like, you know what, maybe this is best for both teams. So pretty happy with the team so far, you know, beating Seoul and then beating Dragons. So definitely a good start and looking forward to the future.
All right, so are we. Thank you so much for joining me here, and we're now heading over to the desk to break down the action.
My favorite Australian here in LA. Take that, Uber. Welcome back to the desk, everybody. It's Puckett here. We are joined by Bren and Crumbs once again. And Bren, you got some props with you. What's that?
Yeah, I mean, we got a nice little role play. So in case you missed the game itself, you know, I got my Sour Patch Kids here, of course. And we want to really break down. So, you know, I'm Valiant, you're Shanghai, okay? And this was map 1 and 2, so they just like kind of just really went at it like that. And then suddenly the halftime broke out,
yes.
and, you know, Gaguri gets introduced, and suddenly they have a means to defend themselves, you know? It starts coming out, and suddenly it's a little bit closer. You know, Soon's involved somewhere. You know, he's got his post bombs. He's just trying to he's lobbing them all over the place. You know, they're going nowhere, but it doesn't matter because they still get the win. But essentially, that was the way the actual game went. But it was an interesting one. I think it's baby steps for Shanghai. They are slowly improving, that we can see.
I love that you had all these props. You were going to nail this sponsor segment, but you forgot to say those are your Sour Patch Thunder Sticks here in the Blizzard Arena. Make some noise if you got them here, ladies and gentlemen.
Sour Patch Kids Thunder Sticks, Puckett.
There we go. There we go. All right, let's talk about video games here. Coming into game number 3, we knew it was going to be controlled. This is where Shanghai starts to show some fight in them. But once again, this Valiant squad, since adding Custa into the lineup, just looking so brutal.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that we are honestly making an argument to be one of the best in Stage 3. So you cannot scoff at Valiant in the slightest. And, you know, it's just essentially unfortunate timing for Shanghai because they're still building this roster up. They've still recently introduced these players. There's going to be these communication issues. But I got to say as well, they introduced Gaguri into the mix again, and suddenly they were looking a little bit more cleaner. I think having MG in, the idea behind it was to sort of, I guess, increase the communication between the off-tank role and the Chinese supports they've got going on. But Gaguri coming in was a bit of an upgrade, and we saw, again, a decent push attempt coming into Junkertown once again.
You know, I wouldn't say that it was so much her impact specifically. To me, it felt like it was the same team that played in the first map. It was just a matter of Valiant being particularly good at those 2 maps right now. You remember that Blizzard World is still a brand new map for all these teams, so the team that has a little more composure and experience is likely to come out on top for that one. So I think the team is just, again, the growing pains. Really, like,
absolutely,
that's the story of Shanghai. They're trying to go and get some wins here, but it's just gonna take time, and it's unfortunate that they'll likely be frustrated if they don't find those wins quickly.
Fellas, we got to talk about this map in particular, Junkertown. Last time we saw Shanghai on it, they were playing Dallas. They walked away with the map win. Of course, Dallas gets the match win in that battle. This time around, though, they didn't get to the second point. What was different for Shanghai playing the Valiant than it was against the Fuel?
I think Valiant's DPS players have a lot more support in general compared to Dallas Fuel. I think that plays a big part into it as well, because originally on Junkertown, like, one of the main reasons why they actually won it against Dallas was because Effect wasn't having as much of an impact, essentially. But when you're going up against Valiant, their DPS players across the board, you've got Soon really just performing on such a ridiculously high level. Ada was, you know, trying to keep up as well as he possibly could, but it's still very difficult at the end of the day when you're up against a top-tier DPS.
All right, it's time to crown our player of the match, sponsored by Omen by HP. Crumbs, who impressed you the most today?
It was the support Kareev, and this guy is practically a DPS at this point. It's really cool to see these DPS players take on the role of Zenyatta. That the more you look at it, if you start seeing Zenyatta and view it as a DPS instead, especially when you take a look at Jonek or these nasty shots, look at that. Look at that warp around space, straight into Sky's left knee. Destruction.
To the lefty. No, but I gotta say, like I mentioned it earlier, but the fact that Kareev has gone from support to DPS back to support again, it's very impressive, right? To switch roles just mid-season like that and still go back to the previous performance.
That's actually going to help this team out a lot. Remember, the New York Excel love to play around Jonek, damage boosting the Mercy. What team's got a pretty nasty Zenyatta with a lot of pocket picks and the brand new Mercy? This team right here.
There you go.
I like that call right there. Valiant's on the up and up. Let's take a look at our Stage 3 standings. This is back-to-back 4-0s to kick off Stage 3 for the Valiant, and you can see the progress on the leaderboard. The first to get up to 2 wins, 8-0. Can they keep this going? Is this the stage the Valiant make the playoffs, boys? I know it's just week 1.
I think realistically, looking at this team, the way they've been performing, you honestly, I can see them going super, super deep. honestly. In terms of the runs, the wins they're picking up against solid teams like Seoul, realistically, where this team stops is going to be up to them.
Well, he didn't give me an answer, so let me finish with you, Crumbs. Do the Valiant finish in the top 4 at the end of stage 3?
Too early, Pucka. It's way too early. There's no way to give an answer right now. The fact that they're 2-0, you still got too many teams that can legitimately make a big run, and the Valiant could find much tougher opposition. We have yet to see them really challenged.
All right, it's fair, especially after seeing your predictions earlier in the week.
Hey, I'm 2-1
let
today.
you guys play
I'm
it
winning
today. Guys, we're done with our first 2 matches of the day. When we come back, though, it's Seoul Dynasty looking for some revenge this week. They're going up against the 1-0 Shock here in stage 3.